We already know that Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is not changing the most important cabinet position, aside from his own.
I have asked Chrystia Freeland to continue serving as Deputy Prime Minister and our Minister of Finance, and she has accepted.
Other ministers may not enjoy the same job security as Freeland. Election results, geographic considerations, and commitments to gender parity and diversity mean changes are coming for a ministry that must once again face a minority parliament and once again confront key files that have been real challenges for some ministers, including military misconduct, the pandemic response, and Indigenous reconciliation. So will the Prime Minister focus on continuity, or will he favor a cabinet shakeup? When the election was called, there were 37 ministers, including Justin Trudeau, but 4 women are no longer in the picture. Infrastructure Minister Catherine McKenna did not run for re-election. 3 others lost their seats to Conservatives. Deb Schultz, the Seniors Minister. Maryam Monsef, the Minister for Women, Gender Equality and Rural Economic Development. And Bernadette Jordan, responsible for Fisheries, Oceans and the Coast Guard. Jordan was Nova Scotia's voice at the cabinet table, so that means a likely promotion for one of that province's 8 Liberal MPs. Of course, most ministers will continue to hail from Quebec and Ontario, where the Liberals won 70% of their 159 seats. Key ministers from those 2 provinces are likely to remain in cabinet. And room may also be made for at least one of Ontario's MPs with past provincial cabinet experience. To the west, the Liberals still have no Saskatchewan MPs. But Trudeau can again provide a place for Alberta at the cabinet table after a pair of Liberal wins. Former Parliamentary Secretary Randy Boissonnault in Edmonton and George Chahal in Calgary. In adding new faces, though, the Prime Minister has to decide if some ministers should be dropped.
There are amazing, extraordinary candidates who get elected right across the country.
The Liberals added seats in BC's Lower Mainland, but all 4 current ministers in and around Vancouver also won their ridings, including Harjit Sajjan, nearing 6 years as Defence Minister, but under steady and growing fire for his handling of sexual misconduct in the armed forces. Many observers predict a woman will now be given ministerial oversight for the troubled department. And there's the pandemic response to consider.
Getting through this COVID-19 crisis remains our very top priority.
Until now, that top priority has been handled by 3 key ministers: Patty Hajdu at Health, Anita Anand at Procurement, and Dominic LeBlanc, responsible for federal-provincial relations. There could be promotions for some and demotions for others.
Oh yeah? Very cool.
The Liberals have also promised more childcare agreements with the provinces and a more aggressive housing strategy. Both have been files for Ahmad Hussein. Will that still be the case, or could we see the creation of a standalone housing ministry? There's also climate change and the green economy. With the next UN Climate Summit about to start in Glasgow, will we see a shift in key portfolios like environment, industry, or natural resources? And what about the relationship with Canada's Indigenous peoples, and whether the right cabinet team is in place to deliver on reconciliation? There's been progress, but there's been controversy too around key minister Carolyn Bennett, along with the unforced errors by the Prime Minister himself, who skipped invitations to Kamloops on the first ever National Day for Truth and Reconciliation, flying instead to vacation with family.
I'm sorry I wasn't here on September 30th. It was a mistake, and I understand that it made a very difficult day even harder.
The Prime Minister campaigned on an ambitious, transformative agenda. So will that require tinkering his cabinet or performing a major overhaul? Either way, we'll also soon see who serves on key cabinet committees, and in time learn what ministers have in their mandate letters from Justin Trudeau, as his Liberal government prepares for a parliament nearly identical to the last. For CPAC, I'm Andrew Thomson.